What is this?
This is pink rhodonite. So for you guys that are listening, maybe you're on your way to work, we have, well, you guys know I surround myself with crystals because I absolutely
No
love
way.
crystals. I know, shocker. But no, this is a heart-shaped pink rhodonite. And so this crystal is all about healing and compassion and self-love. My friend Christina, who you know from Serendipity Place, I had gone through a breakup a couple of years ago, and she gave this to me. She goes, "You need it," and so it just meant so much to me. So I always like to meditate with this one or hold on to it, especially if I'm having like an off day or something like that.
So is this like technically a palm stone?
No, that's a little bit bigger. Well, I mean, I have like mini
Actual
hands.
palm. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have mini hands. So for me, it's like,
Let me see.
yeah, like I can't.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Oh, mini hands. But
That's cute.
yeah. So I like to a lot of times.
Oh my god. Stop.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
getting a call from my mom.
It's your mom. See, it's all about the
Self-love.
self-love.
I'm not gonna answer
love
it
it.
because you don't want to go through that. But sorry, mom. Love you.
Yes. So don't you have some crystals for like love? You must have a rose quartz.
I have rose quartz. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think you gave me one that was what's the other one? It's in the shape of a heart.
Angelite.
Angelite.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of the same.
So that's good. Angelite's really good for connecting to your angels.
Okay, so never mind.
Yeah. But no, pink rhodonite. We have rose quartz. That's really good.
Rose
pink
quartz.
calcite.
Okay, pink calcite.
Matters
I'm
of the
learning
heart.
right now. I'm not. I guess I need to do more self-love.
More self-love.
Well, that's like my new thing.
I know. I mean, it's so crazy. The beginning of the year, I just figured it was like, okay, gun-ho, here we go. And I am finding more and more people are really struggling with the aspects of self-love and self-care, spiritual hygiene, like
I
just...
know. It's well, I think it's just going so fast. Everything is speeding up, you know.
It's like sewer life.
It is.
Straight up.
The doom scroll. So people are just
Yes.
like falling into the rabbit hole and not reflecting back on themselves. They kind of just get lost. Or
I
even
ju-
like, you know,
I just did an episode about that.
it's just too much. So I
It's
think
too
people
much.
forget where they are. They have to go do things and they're like, "Oh god." And the last thing they're going to do is think about themselves.
Exactly. And it's so hard, but it has to be done, right? Especially
Yes.
like I find a lot of people, mothers, fathers, the ones that are really going back and forth with trying to schedule their kids and make time for them and, you know, be the mom, be the dad, be the daughter, be the son, you know, time management is something that I think the majority of us struggle with.
Well, there's so much. I mean, it's not an easy world right
No.
now, and we don't have to talk about that. That's a whole different episode. But we're all trying to keep up with paying the mortgage, getting daycare, finding a babysitter for their dog, even like, you know, like going to the grocery store, not going on Instacart. Like
Everything's so expensive.
everything's expensive.
Everything is
but
like
you
I
don't-
just feel like
it's
something that
keeping
would
up.
cost $20. I remember I used to be so good with like $20 for the week. And I was,
Right?
yeah,
Oh
and
my
I'd like get gas
wish.
and then get coffee every day.
Oh, that's not
and now
anymore.
it's like you spend $20 just leaving your driveway.
Yeah, I say, every day I know I'm gonna spend at least $30.
Yeah, it's
even if I
insane.
don't leave my house.
Yeah.
If it's a bill, parking bill, or it doesn't matter.
It's
like
insane.
it's just
Yeah.
no matter what, I'm gonna spend $30 or more.
So I wanted to talk about, and you guys, if you don't recognize his voice, this is my friend Mark Dunn.
Hey.
And,
I love being here.
He is always a guest host, and so I figured, I'm like, with Valentine's Day around the corner, what
know.
better way?
I didn't even put that together.
So Valentine's Day is around the corner, and I figured, what are some cheap and easy ways to provide self-love? Like, do you have like a daily practice
Oh,
that you
I have
do?
to. Because this is a new thing for me. I know it's hard for some people to break into the habit, because after the habit becomes a practice. So
Right.
I know it's a lot of work to get there, but I wasn't practicing self-love and I became depressed and like I actually was out of alignment and I was wondering why.
I was just having this
It's
conversation.
because I wasn't taking care of myself first. And I did all my other healing, but I think it's because I was healing so much. As you start to heal, as you know, you start at your root chakra, then your sacral, and then you go to your heart. And once you go into the healing your trauma, it's like it's
Whole other level.
It's a whole other level, and you think that you can keep up with the therapy, but it awakens you in so many different ways. So I was
How
like,
you view the world.
yes, like
Your
vibrationally,
friends, yeah.
everyone.
All different types of relationships, your career path, all of that.
I really just had to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I have to do a practice, or I'm just gonna fall out of the loop and go back into like the cycle. So
Right.
one of those things is, if I wake up, so I have to put my alarm on, or I'll just sleep forever. So first is going to bed early.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what's
Self-love, going to bed early, because I will
so
just,
true.
it's really hard for me to go to bed early. So I had to train myself, like, Mark, this sleep is for you, because sleeping is a problem for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, instead of being like, I can't sleep and I wake up tired, I kept looking at myself. I'm like, well, I get getting on the stupid phone, getting in my own way, and I can't fall asleep. So I'm like, you know what?
Let's start that.
Get it out.
Sorry. Okay.
Zoom in.
So
one of my practices are
setting the
turning off
alarm.
my phone.
Oh, turning the phone off. Okay.
At 10
That's good.
and going to, well, it's done at 10 and going to bed at 10. So I don't actually end up falling asleep till 11, but I know that.
Yeah.
So at least I get 7 to 8 hours. I need to, because I need to sleep, and
Right.
that's self-love to me, is sleeping.
It is. Well,
It's so important.
If you're not getting sleep, like I'm struggling today because I was up all night and I was on my phone and I was in a conversation.
It's the doom scroll.
Right. And then I had to get up early to do readings. And so now my brain is literally like on
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah. That's why I said after this, we got to go get something to eat.
Yeah.
Because when everybody showed up here, I was like, do you guys ever get those squiggly lines when you're when you're just looking and
Yes.
they're like, "What? Are you going down? Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm like, I am. I'm fine, but it's yeah, like
It's
I couldn't
not sleeping.
focus. Yeah, it's not sleeping. Your brain doesn't work properly,
And that's a simple thing.
yeah.
So like I was trying to do self-love in other ways, but it wasn't working for me because it wasn't really like, I'm like, wait, what do I really love to do? And it's not a bad thing if you love to sleep. I thought it was like a
Right.
depression thing, or like
Right.
I don't want to, some other thing, but no, I'm sleeping because I need to reboot myself because
Right.
I'm taking in so much energy every day.
Exactly.
So
and
I
that's
need
the
to
thing.
sleep,
Like,
and that's fine.
here's the thing is,
And it's
like,
hibernation
your
mode, so.
self-love, sorry. Your self-love, yeah, go for it. Your definition of self-love is totally probably different than mine, like
Oh yeah,
everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Programmed
So,
differently.
okay, so that's really good. So you set your alarm, one thing,
Yep,
and you get your 8 hours of sleep,
and that's self-love number 1.
and you shut your phone off
Shut
by
it down.
10 p.m.
Yep, and I don't look at my phone until after I have my coffee.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no. So number 2 is taking Griffin out for a walk, and that's a whole thing in itself. But I'll put I don't ever look at my phone. I'll just put my little headphones on, and I'll do like a mindful meditation as I'm walking with Griffin.
so that's really good. And for you guys, again, that are listening, I'm going to just kind of label them so maybe they can take some advice if they're looking like, again, time management is always something that's difficult. So shutting your phone off at a decent time, going to bed at a decent time, and also, you mentioned taking Griffin out. So
Yeah, walking.
bilateral stimulation is so good for your nervous system
Yes.
to help you process everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's on your mind. That's what my therapist told me to do. She's like, get out, take a
Just go
walk.
for a
And
walk.
it's going to
amazing.
kind of get all of that junk that you've been swirling around in your head and like let it go.
Yep. And I did some podcast. I forget the guy's name. Some neurologist. Like seeing light, like from outside for the first 30 minutes of the day is so healthy for you.
Really?
It like recalibrates you somehow because we're animals at the end of the day. So
Oh my gosh, I could
and it
totally do
actu-
that.
It has helped. Like just going. It's not even going outside. It's like getting your eyes with the right light like getting you for like ready for the day.
Well, I think the majority of us too that have jobs, even if whether you go into an office or at home, like you're
Yeah,
either
we used to
you're
do
staring, yeah, you're either staring at a computer screen
Yeah.
or you're staring at your phone, you know. So our eyes, and it's so bad for our eyes.
It's so bad. Well, Daniel, we do that, but my husband Daniel had to get laser on his lids because he stopped producing oil. Like the oil stopped because he was staring at the screen so much.
Really?
And more people.
And
Then the eye doctor said that's happening more and more often to kids.
Oh my gosh.
So we had to literally have laser done to his eyes so they would produce again, because his eyes were burning and they stopped producing like oils and
That's so scary.
just liquid.
Yep.
Like he wasn't probably
Yep.
why he didn't cry. I'm like, well, here's my tears.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding. But
Oh my
like
gosh.
stop
Yep.
looking at the screen. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop because I know it hurts my head. I get into these cycles. It's not even like it's the cycle of things. I don't know if anyone else or even
Right.
you, Tiffany, is like, for me, I know I have an addictive personality, and since my job is content and images, I just get into image mode. I'm like, oh, I need to work with this person. Oh, that's a cool photo. Who shot that?
Yep.
I'll just go, and then I'll get into my own world, and I just need to reset in a different way. It's not like for entertainment for me.
Right.
It's more about strategy. So I have
Mhm.
to, I know I want to start my day for work, but it's a certain time period. I want to give myself 8 hours of hard work rather than on and off, because
Yeah.
for me, it just doesn't work. So that walking with Griffin, just listening to peaceful meditation, like a lot of Abraham Hicks or Wayne Dyer, or even our podcast
Yes.
sometimes, or it just helps. So that's number 2.
Wait, I feel like you have like 20 number 2s, by the way, because every time you say something
It
new
is. I
and you're
have, like,
like,
a
and then
million.
this is number 2, and I'm like, am I blank? Like, am
Okay,
I
maybe that was
totally
number
like?
3.
I feel like I'm like zoning out for a second, and I'm like, was I not paying attention?
No, number 2 is, I guess waking up early is not like a self-love. I feel like number 2 is Griffin. So like going to bed early is number 1. Number 2 is
Shutting your
walking.
phone off.
Oh, I guess that's
Yeah.
self-love.
So basically, you shut your phone off. That's 1.
Okay.
At a certain time.
Sleeping.
You go to bed early. 2. You get up and walk Griffin. 3.
4, self-love. Oh, so I have a so after all my self-love is in the morning, because that's how I function.
Right.
So the next thing I do is my cup of coffee is 1,000% self-love. It is like the only thing I live for is coffee.
Honestly,
So
I love getting up in the morning
I wish I had a
and
coffee shop
having
'cause I love
coffee.
it so much. I don't know why. I don't know what about it. I just love it.
Because it's something that, and it probably dates back to when you first started working.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
what-
getting going. It's like
getting going. It's like something you look
cozy
forward
to
to.
me. Yeah, it's like some days I'll have a certain type, or like I'll change it. I'll make a pot of coffee, but then I'll do my little espresso. It really depends on my mood, but
It just
coffee
smells
is
so
just
good.
my thing.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll grind my own.
See, that's so good.
Yeah.
I had I mean, I'm a coffee drinker as well.
Yep.
But I would, when I was going in working a corporate job, I would go to Dunkin' Donuts every morning
Yep.
and get
I remember
a French vanilla regular.
Me too.
A yeah, French vanilla
2 creams, 2
regular.
sugars.
And then I'd also get a bagel with cream cheese. And
Same, literally the same. It's
every single
so
day.
comforting.
That was it. Yep. Yep. And I just remember like Christmas, I'm like, get me gift cards to Dunkin' Donuts, you know? And
I know, right?
So
Now it's
it's-
Starbucks.
exactly. So, but it's just funny. So that's one thing. Same.
Yeah.
I relate so much to that because I get up in the morning, I let the dogs out, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to have some coffee.
Yep.
But
That's
continue
self-love
on
to
with
me.
you. I'll
Okay.
tell you my little self-love in a minute.
Okay. So then coffee is number 27.
Yes. You're like, I'm really struggling with my self-love here. Number 58.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's all about me.
And this is just daily, guys, by the way. We're going on
Oh,
like,
this is day. This is by the day.
yeah, by the day,
Yeah.
what we're
So
doing.
then after coffee is I write so my friend Val gave me this cute affirmation journal. I just started this year. This is brand new, by the way. This is a lot of work in progress. It's
Yeah.
not like I just was like, okay,
Yeah.
it took me a long time to get this schedule, but she gave me this affirmation book for manifestation, and it's 369. It's like Tesla's mathematical equation. So it's like 3 in the morning. You write 3 affirmations that what you have.
Wait a minute. I thought you were getting 8 hours of sleep. Do you get up at 3?
No. Do I get up at 3? Maybe. No, but you're probably in my head.
No. Wait, didn't you say 3 in the morning?
Oh, 3 affirmations. I write 3 affirmations in the morning. Shh, it's okay. You need some sleep.
Night.
Night.
And this episode of We Know Truly Alone is hosted by Mark and Tiffany's body. Just laying here.
So self-love. Sleep.
I'm a
Okay,
prop. I'm a prop.
Sleep. No, so it's a book that it's like I'm really into math, like numbers, like numerology, and 369 is a manifestation pathway.
Mm-hmm.
So anything with 3s, 6, or 9s, you can manifest faster.
And in previous episodes, we talked about you being a major manifester.
So it's a new thing. So for I write 3 times one manifestation.
Oh, I like that.
When I wake up. And then in the afternoon, I'll write the same manifestation 6 times.
I have to do
and
this.
then at night, before I go to bed, I'll do it 9 times. And it's the same manifestation.
Can you share with us what one of your
I forget the name.
manifestations?
Oh, yeah. One is that I'm going to work for Vogue. That's one.
Well, I mean, I think that's already a shoo-in.
That's coming in.
Yeah.
But another one is, most of them are abundance, but self-love is a huge one.
But you're doing
that
it.
I love yeah.
You're actually actively doing
and
it.
I feel myself coming through. I feel myself honoring that.
Right.
In a different way. So it works. I love it.
I love it.
And also it makes me feel like productive. Even
Right.
if I'm not, it just gives me something to do.
Right.
So that, and then I'll go to the gym. I think that's my 5. Gym
That's
is everything.
amazing.
Gym is good. So those are like my things. Coffee, sleep, journaling, gym,
Phone
sleep.
shut off. Yeah.
sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Walking
my
Griffin.
gosh.
That's another one.
See, that's so good.
Yeah. So as long as I get those things every day, I'm happy. Oh, not happy, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's
Getting
something
through.
that's important to you, so you have to treat it as a priority, and that's something that I would say to everybody at home. Self-love, so many of us don't treat it as a priority, and we really need to do that.
Mhm.
Because it's so important. Because if we're
important.
not loving ourselves, if we are not filling our own cup,
Yep.
we're going to get drained, and we're going to get drained so quickly.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be our best. Just like we were talking about sleeping. Like,
Yeah.
didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I feel like I'm like do.
Like la la.
Yeah. And that, like, all of these new moms out there with kids,
I
like,
feel for them.
oh my gosh, my friends tell me all of these like crazy
lot.
stories. Yeah. So it's like, so I'm sure they'd say, they're probably laughing, being like, oh, okay, Mark, cool. 8 hours. Oh, good. So, I mean, if you guys cannot do the 8 hours,
Take a nap. I don't know what it is.
do
but figure it out.
whatever you can. Yeah. Like, do whatever you can to have some sort of time management in a way of like giving back to yourself.
Exactly, and that's all it is. And the walking Griffin thing, I like that because it's not just walking Griffin and being outside, but it's also my time to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, because I know that sometimes I don't, like maybe Daniel will walk Griffin and I'm in the house and I'll just do a meditation at home, inside. So as long as I'm meditating,
Right.
just to do it, because if I don't feel like I'm aligned.
Yep.
Because I know I'm just someone who will just buzz away.
Right.
He's gone,
Right.
doing a million different things, and I just
Right.
need to be in alignment because it's too much out there for me. So
Right.
I don't know. What is yours? You have
Oh,
tell
gosh.
me. It's not sleeping.
No, it's not sleeping. I need to sleep. So one thing, I mean, I'm trying to get better at a lot,
I know.
like
Well, it's work.
one thing, it is work. And one of the things that I also really enjoy is I'll start with mine in the mornings. Like in the morning, I like to get up. I like to have an easy morning. I don't like to be rushed at all. So I make sure I have enough time to get up. I will let the dogs out, get the dogs situated.
Yeah.
And then I come out on my sunroom porch.
Which we are in right now. It's so
in
cute.
the same spot.
you
I
guys
will
could
sit
see.
here. And I sit with, usually Stanley is the one that I sit with. And my dog, and we
Your little man.
my little man, and we
So
cuddle and we just hang out, and it's just like that's kind of how I kind of ease into my morning, and I really look forward to it. And so I make sure I do that all the time. And even if I do have a morning where I have to get up and rush out the door, I always try to make time to at least
Get it in. Or
get it
up
in
early to do it. Because you know that gets you going.
exactly. And
Well, especially with you, you're seeing so many different people and their energies are coming in.
right.
So you need to have time for yourself to get prepared, you know.
And sometimes I just have to zone out and not
Yeah.
think of anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, that's something that's super important. And I have an infrared sauna, and I've been
Ooh, I know,
trying
I've
to
been
do
staring
it.
at it.
Ugh,
I wish I could have room for it, but
it's
yours looks so
good.
fun.
It's so good. So it's not it's not the big one that you go in and you sit down. I would love that one, but my house is way too small for
well-
that. So I just have a little mobile one, and I've been trying to do that on the daily, and all you need is like 30 to 40 minutes. And
Can
it's
you
just,
explain to
it's-
people what it does? Because I know there's so many different ones out
there's-
there.
Yes. So I use Sunlighten. So that's the brand that I use.
Sponsored
and
by
actually,
Sunlight. No, we're not sponsored by Sunlight.
I
But
wish we were
maybe
sponsored by
could
Sunlighten.
figure that out.
Maybe we'll
If
tag
you're
them.
listening.
And they'll say, oh, but I got it a year ago. In February, they usually do like Heart Month, so they run a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
discounts. So infrared sauna is really good it's almost like a low cardio,
Mm-hmm.
and it works from like the inside out, so it
So it's
helps
not
with,
Hot.
it's hot.
So
It's hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you sweat. So, but it helps.
You just let it all out.
So you,
Detox.
it's a huge detox. So it helps with like your cardiac, your rhythm, and it also helps with weight loss. It helps with
Wow.
calming the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps with, I believe it's like even like, I don't want to say this 'cause I don't want to be wrong, but like helping with cells, like having cells regenerate.
I'm
Yeah.
sure because I have the is it
The
the same thing as
mask.
the red light mask?
Well, I have the red light mask too.
I saw.
Yeah. Well, I got it after I saw you guys had it. I said, Mark and Daniel have a red light mask. I need to have a red light mask.
I do
Yep.
see a difference though.
Yes.
So is
Yes.
it the similar?
So
like
I need to do that better too.
But is it the
So
same?
it's well, that mask isn't hot. This is hot. Like when I say sweat, they have different levels. So there's a mat that's heated that you can put on a level, and then the little dome that you saw is heated too. So
but is
like
it red in there?
it's red, like on the front
red
part,
light?
it's red.
Okay.
Just not the entire thing.
Okay. That's why when I hear it, I'm like, what the hell?
And it switches
you on
different
Mars?
colors
Like,
and
what's
things
up?
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't put it over my face.
Okay.
This
'Cause you'll die.
particular one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know I set it to about an 8 because it goes up to like, I think 10. I said it like, yeah.
It's terrifying.
I set it to, I did fall asleep in it. I did, talking about not getting enough sleep. And so at night, because it's so good, I either do it like right when I wake up in the morning after my coffee or right before I go to bed.
Okay.
And then I'll take a shower after. But it's so relaxing. So
Shit.
it's so good. For me, it's great for my mental health. So if you guys can go get a sunlight and sauna, go for it.
Yeah.
But most of us can't, right? So, another thing that I do for my self-love and healing is I get my body moving. I have to stretch. I have to move. Like when I get up out of bed, I do a stretch. If I can even do like a couple jumping jacks or just like jumping up and down
Do a little dance,
to help
mama.
like kind of release some of that like lymphatic drainage that you need
Yep.
to do because
Yep, absolutely.
your glands are just like sitting there all night. So it's like when you get up, you get things moving and it helps. Yeah.
Shaking.
So, and it's not like I'm doing that for like a full on cardio set. I just kind of do it just to get moving. And so that's a couple things that I do for self-love. And, another thing I mentioned, the dogs. Like I love just saying,
know.
like sitting and hanging out
Aren't
with
they
my
so
dogs.
special?
Yes, it's just it's that unconditional love.
It really
So for
is.
me,
and they just know.
they know. And they know when you're having a good day. They know when you're having a bad day. So for me, spending time with my dogs daily
Yeah.
is something that I
She wants to come
truly,
over here.
truly-
Speaking of dogs,
I
she's
know.
like hearing us.
I truly enjoy. And, each day is different because there are some days where I'm like calm, cool, and collected. And then there's some days where I'm feeling a little bit all out of sorts. So I
Yeah.
do kind of rearrange what I give
See,
myself
she knows.
for
I don't know
self-love.
if you see her. She heard us.
She's
I
Miss
know.
Little Angel. But
Oh my God, so cute.
she's going to want to jump on you. That's
can
her
come
style.
up.
You're gonna get white hair all over.
Well,
all over.
a German Shepherd. Come on. Up. Self-love.
Come on.
Beep, beep.
Aw.
Good girl.
Olive May.
All right, Ollie.
Okay, you gotta sit.
Okay, gotta sit.
You gotta sit. So, yeah. So that. Oh, and you know
She
what?
literally knew.
Yeah, she knew.
This is so
She
weird.
knew. It's a. Oh.
Little piggy.
You're so good,
Just got me right in the
little
face.
girl.
Okay.
I love
chill,
it.
chill.
But that's I know it's so she will kiss you.
I love
She
you.
loves licking. So
Okay. She's
Are
so
you
happy.
she is.
We're like la, la, la. Dog people. Are you
Yep.
happy? I know.
Yep. She
Unconditional.
has no teeth, by the way. So
Oh,
don't worry
good. She
about
won't bite me. Okay. Relax.
it. So yeah, so spending time with my dogs, that's always really good. And darn it, now I forget what I was gonna say. I'm like, wait,
We
was
can cut it.
I totally zoned out because of my lack of sleep. Drinking water. That's something that
That's
I
some self-love
really
right
do.
there.
Yeah. I have to drink more water. I love drinking water. Oh, I know what it is. My other thing that I do on the daily is I make sure I make contact with the ones that I care about
Oh.
and talk to them because
yes.
that's super important for me. I like being in contact because, you know, it's just
Connection.
important. Yeah, the connection. I'm a social person. I'm a very social person. So for me and my mental health, it's important for me to be social and connect.
Yep.
You know, hey, I mean, I connect with people in the afterlife. So
But you want to be
yeah.
here.
yeah,
That's probably
Yes.
why.
yes,
You
and
want to
then
be grounded.
and I love when it's warm weather. I don't like being outside in the cold weather, but when it's warm weather, I love being outside.
Ugh,
It's my
I
favorite.
know. It is me
Yeah.
too. Oh, good.
Yes. So those are some of the things that I like to do on a daily basis if I can.
She's so cuddly today.
She is.
Oh.
All of you got to relax. Got to relax. You got to relax.
I-
So, I mean, I guess for you guys that are listening and you're just, everybody's kind of in a different boat when it comes to what's good for them. And,
Yeah, there's so many
um,
different ways of self-love too.
right.
I know that Daniel loves to read his book in the morning, so that's how he gets going. Is he
Yes.
takes 15 minutes,
Yep.
so he'll just read a book. Even like watching TV is self-love. People, it's okay to watch TV. Like
Exactly.
you know how like I know that people put when you say watching TV, it sounds lazy, but it can be a resource to relax. I think it's okay. Get away from
But it's
everything else.
entertainment.
It's
Who wants to who doesn't want to get lost in a movie?
Yeah, so I think that's okay. If, like, I mean, don't watch it all day long. Maybe that's the theory. Is like too much, but I think at night before going to bed is
Right.
nice just to relax. But
Time management. I know one of my friends, she owns 3 different buildings and she's very, very busy with her line of work, and she's a mom of 2 kids that's very, very active. And one trick that she does, because it's always about timing, and she will get up at 5 a.m. to read her book from
See?
5 to 6. Yeah, because again, she likes to read just like Daniel does. So it's important for her to read. That she loves reading. She loves learning. She likes to just dive into it. So she'll set her alarm for 5 a.m.
Wow.
and read from
see,
5
that's
to
my
6
goal.
a.m.
That at least I have a goal because I'm going to bed earlier and earlier, so I can get up earlier.
Well, another friend of mine and I find this, it's hard because you and I, we both don't have children.
Right.
But another friend of mine loves working out, and she's like, I found it really difficult to put in a time to work out because I have to get the kids up, and now her kids were at an age where they didn't want to get out of bed, so they were giving her a hard time. So she says, I pull up my yoga mat right next to their bed, and I just start doing crunches.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm like,
While
all
they
right.
sleep.
Yeah. She goes, I know I'm going to be here for at least 15 minutes. So like that 15 minutes, she utilizes that time to be able to like do her push-ups, do her crunches while she's
Yeah.
trying to get her daughter out of bed.
Oh, so
Yeah.
time management.
Yeah.
Might
And
as well
and
just
that's,
get it in there.
you just have to be able to set the boundaries and be able to make time for yourself, because you have to do it for your own personal best. And I, time and time again, I fail at it. I fail so many times because I say to myself, you know what? This is the moment of like, I'm telling people, write in a journal, do this. And I just don't have it in me.
Right. Well, because you need to
You know?
sacrifice other time to do it. It's not like you don't want to. It's just, again,
Right.
it's the habit to, I don't know, creating, I don't know how you say it. What's the, you start with a habit, then it turns into a.
It's
something.
a habit and turns into a routine. And then it's part of your everyday. Yeah.
But
Everyday world. Oh, and another thing I like to do is, because I do work from home, is I light a candle.
Okay, wait, that's
because that sets the tone.
Like, that's it. That's a part of the whole thing.
Right.
I'm obsessed with candles.
It's just
Can we
basics.
just look at your sexy candles?
Oh yes. Well, there's 2 there. I have 1 over there. But the spirit tiff, everybody loves the spirit tiff.
I know, that's my favorite.
So
one.
can you read? Because I don't have my glasses on.
Driftwood, Ode, Sea Salt, Juniper.
That's the #1 seller. Spirit tiff candles available at my
really
shows.
Change the room.
It really does. Have you
chills me
smelled
out.
that one?
I have one.
Oh, you have that one. Okay. And then the We're Never Truly Alone. That one's almost kind of like a cashmere. But yeah, I mean, after talking to you about this, I really think, and I'm like, I'm such a simple creature.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right?
We all are. At heart, everyone wants the same things.
Right. But I find like, I don't know.
It's like almost like we are. It's so funny because we think that we want these major things in our life.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's the small things that are the only things that matter.
Well, it's like
and
vacations,
it's like,
right?
Yeah.
Like vacations. I used to always be like, I want to go here and I want to go there. And I still do. I love traveling, but it's the company that's with you.
And actually, since I travel so much, you're 1,000,000% on. It's just funny when you go on vacation, you're actually not doing anything.
Right.
You're going shopping. You're sitting. You're eating.
Right.
You're sleeping. It's like you're not going to the movies on a vacation.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
You're kind of like walking around the streets and like looking at things.
Right. Right.
It's really not that hard.
Right.
Like you can do that every day if you wanted to.
Right.
Go to Boston or wherever you're from. Go to the nearest city and just walk around and do it on the weekend. That's a vacation.
Exactly.
Like, just think of your mind. Like sometimes I'll play pretend. I'm like, oh, let's pretend we're on vacation when we're down the Cape.
Yeah.
Or just for the day, you know, just.
Yeah.
And you can get there because it's all
Exactly.
perspective. It's
exactly.
like, I don't know.
But
It's
then
it is
again,
the
it
simple
might be
things.
different for the ones that are listening to this that have younger kids. You know, like vacation.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure with your sister, she's probably.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, it's like
Disney is not a vacation.
no.
For
Right.
the kids, it is, but
Right.
that's just a whole different thing. But you're right. Like that's why I'm saying if it's vacation mode in the head. Like,
Right.
okay, how do we program ourselves to live in the present
Right.
when we can?
Right.
So then it's faster to get to those places, I guess. I don't know. If it's just a day trip, maybe that's self-love.
Yeah, maybe it's taking yourself on a day trip. And here's the thing, because I'm going to backpedal for a minute, because I'm not saying you have to be with people to enjoy your time.
Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, no.
So everybody's different. I've traveled alone before.
Oh, yeah.
You've traveled alone before.
Oh, yeah, but being with people
right.
on vacation is
Like
fun.
I'll say time and time again, I'm a social butterfly.
Right.
And I love connection. And so for me, I enjoy going and traveling with someone.
Me too.
Like the
Like
time-
sharing the experience.
Yes. Like you and I went to Aruba
Oh, it was so
with
fun.
so many of our friends. And
So
that was the
fun.
best vacation I've ever had.
I know. It was really fun.
It was just, everybody was in a great mood. It was a
We had
bunch
so
of
many
us.
laughs. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
We were there for a destination wedding. And it was, I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad that we got to experience that because it brought all
know.
of our friendships closer,
It really did.
you know? So.
Oh.
What we're talking about today, guys, if you're just joining us, is self-love and all
Mhm.
the different ways you can provide self-love. And everybody has their own definition of what that is, you know? I feel like I'm super simple and chill, where I'm like, I like to just hang out with my dogs in the morning,
Same, I'm the
drinking
same.
coffee.
That's
I
our
get
Virgo
up.
side.
Yeah, I get up and I jump around a little bit just to shake things up. And then when it's above...
aerobics.
Yes, when it's above 70, I need to make sure I'm outside because
Oh,
that makes
I
me
need to
feel
be
so
at the
good.
beach or swimming. It's a whole different. Maybe this is our self-love for winter. Maybe we'll do self-love every season
what
because it
should we
probably
d-
changes.
I was just gonna say, what do we do for self-love winter?
That's what I do.
Just drink coffee and pet our dogs.
Yeah. And then in the summer, I'm like self-love. I'm outside running. I'm
Yes.
gardening.
Yes.
That is my self-love. I'm swimming.
And it's okay to change
It's
it
so
too,
different.
guys.
Yeah.
You know, just so you know.
But
And if it's like
what if people are... Okay, so I have a question because since you see a lot of people
mm-hmm.
and they come to you for reassurance, for help, a lot of self-help, guidance, spiritual guidance, but just
Right.
guidance and like intuitive guidance.
Right.
What if you speak to someone who's on their way of figuring out what that self-love is? Like, do you notice that other people are on different levels?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so many people that they just feel so guilty about putting themselves first with anything. Like
And does it have to
they'll
do with,
never like even say if you have a family, they're not going to get coffee first. They're going to make sure their kids have breakfast, their husband has coffee, and then maybe they'll be able to do it.
So how do you break out of that?
Even with
cycle?
showering,
I know.
people don't shower every day. I mean, and that's okay too. By the way, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I was
not
raised
that.
like I was raised to be like insanely clean.
Yeah, same.
You know,
But-
so for
But
me,
it's just in
it's
terms of like having the time management to do it because they care so much about everyone else beside. They're not putting themselves first.
Right.
And because we were in the way we were programmed as a younger generation or the older
Right,
generation when
right.
we were young was that everyone else was first before you. This whole
yes,
we're moving into a different world. We
because
were
it's like polite.
Capricorn.
It was more so like, in order to be polite, you let this
Other
person.
people-
Yes,
right. So, if you guys are tuning in, and I don't think we talk about astrology a lot, but maybe we could do that a little bit more. But
yeah,
so we were in a Capricorn world. So Capricorn was in our sun's, in our sphere. Now it's moving into Aquarius. So Capricorn is about work. It's about order. It's about, not really about the changing or, the intellectual side. It's really just very grounded. And now that we're moving into a Aquarius world with Pluto.
it's now the season of the age of Aquarius.
The age of Aquarius.
It reminds me of the 40-year-old virgin.
I know, I love that. It's true. It's the age
Yep.
of Aquarius. So now it's more. Now we are moving literally going into this world.
Right,
We're going into the intellectual. We're going into the independent.
right.
So Capricorn was not independent. Aquarius is an independent.
It's actually one of the
Thinker.
most independent signs.
Yes, and they're revolting. They're rebellion. They're very
Right.
they're like teenage kids. They're like, but they're kind of quirky.
And they just do what they want to
They
do.
do what they want, and it might
Yeah.
be a little weird, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But now that we're moving into that, officially we're in it. People are going to start to really, and as we see, are really starting to do that. So do you
Right.
feel like be more involved with themselves and putting themselves first? Have you seen that too? Have you seen that change over the years?
Over the
How
years,
many years
yep.
you've been doing this?
But I will tell you, there's more and more people, especially since the pandemic. There's more and more people that are
Yeah.
now starting to put themselves first.
And how many more like breath work classes you see
Right.
popping up, or yoga class? Like obviously yoga has always been a thing, but now it's just like, oh yeah, everyone
Right.
does yoga. Remember
Right.
when yoga was the
Yes.
yoga? You're like, oh my god, you're doing yoga? How woo woo.
I-
Like now it's like,
Now it's like it's
Yoga's like-
everywhere. yeah, exactly.
or even Pilates was weird. It's
Yeah.
like no.
I love Pilates.
Now breath work is weird, but like
and it's always going to be something.
right,
There's always going to be a friction somewhere.
right. But
you
I
know?
feel like it's mainstream.
Right. Well, because you're living in it. That's why.
Yeah,
You're living in it. You're living in a life where you can get up and travel to New York on a drop of a hat.
yeah.
Where there's a lot of people that they will get their 2 weeks of vacation. The majority of us out there will get 2 weeks vacation, and they'll plan one of their trips will be to go to New York for their vacation.
That's so true.
But in your world, you can pick up and go.
No,
You
that's
can
so true.
that's how different. That's why I'm like, even when we talk about, I know a lot of my friends have kids and they're in a totally different space than I
A
am.
1,000,000%.
So when we talk about, I like to enjoy my coffee in the morning, like they can't. They love coffee too, but they can't because they have 3 kids where they're like, one of them's crying, one of them's like trying to get into the bathtub, one of them's on the toilet. Like they're all over the place.
No, it's true. So it's almost like we're here to help guide them, and we're not saying do all these things. We're not saying you need to do these to be happy or love yourself. It's more like a reminder that you need to find what works for you and remember to do it. You don't need to do 5 things. You don't need to do 10 things. Just try to figure out at least one thing.
A day.
A day. Just one of those things. And then every day you figure out how to make that into your time management. And every day you add one or don't, maybe whatever it is. But just try to do it because it's so important to keep your
mental state
and
so
see grounded into your root chakra, because that's what really just is going to pull you down into the root and like stay stable.
Whatever you guys find healing, like even if it, I laugh and say, yeah, sometimes I jump up and down, or I'll do some jumping jacks. Like I'll do 50 jumping jacks just to kind of get things going.
Yeah.
But that
Makes
takes
you feel alive.
that literally takes 30 seconds.
Right. Or your friend who did 15 minutes while the kids were
the 15 minutes while they're trying to get their kids out of bed.
Perfect.
And she did her crunches or she did something. It was just something to get her body moving.
Right.
It's so important mentally to get your body moving.
Ugh,
and that's
so
the thing.
hard for
It's like
people too.
whenever we go, like I'll bring my mom to the doctors and they'll say, you got to just keep moving. The will to live is you being able to move your body.
Ugh.
You just got to walk for 15 minutes.
Yep.
Walk for 20 minutes.
That's all you need to do.
You know,
but you know
get
what's so
going.
hard? See, this is what I'm talking about,
I know,
the habit.
I know.
I was at the gym today when my dad called me. He's like, oh, were you at the gym? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, what are you doing today? You doing weightliftings?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I walked incline. He thought I was going to. He's like, oh, or are you running? Because I used to run so much, like 10 miles, 13 miles when I lived at home.
Gosh.
Or even I would like do, when I worked my corporate job at Honeywell, I would run at lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Probably 3 miles at lunch. I was a crazy runner. And then I stopped because I don't know, whatever. But I don't know why I stopped. But my dad assumed I was running. I'm like, actually, no, I walk incline.
Yep.
For 15 minutes, Dad. He's like,
yeah.
That's it? I'm like, no, that's all you need to do.
That's all
He's
you
like,
need to do.
Oh, I keep thinking I'm going to that one down the street, $10 a month. I'm like, Dad, I'll just come with me. Just come with me.
Right.
And he's like, maybe. He's like, I probably won't go. I'm like, just do it.
Just do it. That's all. That's all.
I literally bought him like a not a one piece, a jumpsuit, like a cool
little
like I don't know
outfit,
outfit to wear for Christmas, just to like get him to feel motivated. And it's so hard to get motivated
but
when you're not in it.
When I've talked to you about this, like our good friend Kelly, she has her leggings, and so I love buying the matching sets just because I'm like, it's a set. You know, like if you get a set, you're like, okay,
motivated.
Now I'm ready, and it's very motivational.
Yeah, of course, anything that
anything.
And it's just like whatever. So now we're going to a different topic is what I do, but. Let's say like you're trying to figure out your self-love. What is that little voice that's like, me? Like if for my dad, it's obviously the gym. He's telling me, but he doesn't go.
Yep.
So that little voice will still go on forever. He's always going to think he's going to go to the gym. And then maybe he thinks he's at the gym. And he has never been.
Right. But it's also that inner confidence too. Yeah. It's that inner confidence. Like when I bring my mom has Parkinson's. So when I bring her, the doctor will always say, okay, Judy, you need to walk. And where she lives, her room from the elevator is a little bit of a distance. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, at least she's getting out there. At least she's walking. At least she's doing something, you know?
No, true.
But it's
for her.
But it really is. It's like you have
hopefully
to.
That turns into a habit.
Right.
So
right. You get up. You have to. And the first few times you start something is so difficult.
It hurts.
Yeah.
But then it turns into a habit, and then you start loving that because you see yourself change, and that's how you start loving yourself.
Yes, like, when you see that change,
and you're like,
even that mental
happier.
state, even that mental state.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
We've all been in dark places. There's no human here that's never felt ashamed or guilty or afraid. Like that's not everyone has at some point.
Right.
So we all have to reflect that if you are feeling those things, it's okay.
Right.
But it's a reminder that you can change too.
Yes.
Like to love yourself are these little things, are these simple things, and they can happen And you can start by doing it 10 seconds a day.
Exactly.
Anyway, find your coffee, find your sit-ups, find your dog, or maybe it's not your dog. Maybe you love dogs and you can't have them. Walk your friend's dog.
Reading a book.
Reading a book?
Yeah, reading
read
a book.
One chapter, read 10
making
paragraphs.
Sure
Who cares?
you connect with someone that you love.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different things that you can do. And, you know, again, we're understanding that everybody is in a different mindset.
Right.
You know, if you're able to take the yoga class every day, perfect. If you're able to, maybe, you know, again, I'm always like self-aware of my friends with kids. Like maybe it's spending extra time with your kids.
Yeah.
And helping them with their
Maybe
homework or, you know, going for a walk with your kids.
Aww.
You know, like
cooking with them.
Letting
them cook.
Doing something, you know, there's always something, you know,
There is always something.
But you have to truly know yourself to know what that is.
And I think this is really important that we're talking about this now because everything is going faster, and it's gonna get. There's no slowing down now.
No, it's just gonna. Yeah.
It is going to happen. It is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You know. I know I get upset about the AI thing, but it is a reality. So we have to take that, and we have to own it instead of letting it win. As
Right.
in terms of things changing.
Right.
With our parents' generation, they did not want change. It was the Capricorn mindset.
Right.
They did not want change.
Right.
They wanted
Yeah.
everything to stay the same.
Yeah.
And they still do.
Yeah.
My dad still wants it.
Right.
But there's no beating it. It's just going to happen. So
Right.
we need to figure out ways to love ourselves when we battle these things because we're going to have to do a lot more work
Because society, the world, everything is evolving so quickly.
And it's just going to
You
get
know,
quicker.
and there's no, unfortunately, guys, there's no turning back. You know, there's
Right.
no turning back the clock. We're never going to
Tesla's
get.
not going to stop making
Right.
cars.
we're never going to get a refund on time. So it's how we value our time.
Right.
So every single person has the same 24 hours in a day. Like I follow Mark Wahlberg and he's up every morning, 3-4 in the morning. He does his gym workout. He does his thing. Like, and it's actually, I've also read that like, it's a sign of very successful people when they
get up
have
early.
that, like that motivation to go to bed at a decent time, get up early, get stuff done. I actually love getting up
Me
early
too.
before everybody.
It's the best.
Because it's like nice and quiet where it's like, oh, it's just me.
And you can be off the phone and there's no TV and it's just you and the world finally. You're just literally disconnected in a good way. Like you're unplugged. And no one can find you.
For, again, you guys that have kids, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you find your time at night instead of the morning.
Try to get them to go to bed early. I know.
Right. I know. I always feel so like I feel like I'm tiptoeing about anything when it comes to
My
kids.
sister's probably listening to this like, okay.
Yeah. She's like, shut up,
Yeah,
Mark.
okay, Finn,
yeah.
It's not,
Exactly.
goes to bed at 9, wakes
Just
up at
feed them a well-balanced diet.
Yeah, it's all organic. It's like, no, I get it.
Shut up.
Why is your kid not eating only vegetables?
For me,
We
when
get
I was
it.
little, I used to run around naked all the time.
Right, like
They
me
were
was
like,
naked in the woods.
Is
Like,
she okay? Yep,
not-
she belongs.
It's hard for me taking advice from a gay man. I know. Sorry.
Or me, like I don't have
Let
children.
us be your hopes and dreams, all right?
Right. This is actually about not just self-care, but what your hopes and dreams are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's-
I
there's
know.
a-
That's
there's
why because I know
I know. Who's listening?
I know who's listening. I know who's
Our-
listening.
we
And
know our
everyone's
audience.
like,
We get it.
I'm not going to listen to this episode because I can't relate. But that's why, guys, I'm just saying is like, even before
Just
kids,
pick one of those things.
right. Before kids, you were, you are someone. Okay. But your personality, even though your time management may be totally different, but keep being who you are and keep enjoying the things that brought you happiness before, even if it is a cup of coffee.
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Or like, again, move that body, get up before, get up and just shake it off, little T Swift. Yeah. Little T Swift action. Just shake it off,
Love it.
So I'm hoping this episode gave you guys a little bit of insight. We wanted to share with you some of the things that help us. And we're just trying to help you slow it down to self-love,
Love it.
Again, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And what matters most is that you are filling your cup first. It's like that saying when they talk about the airplane, And okay, if if something's
mask.
going on with the airplane, you take the mask first, and then you can help everybody. Because if you're the one in charge and you're giving everybody else a mask, and then you pass out, and there's someone that didn't get a mask because you passed out, like, you have to make sure you fill your cup. So, with the Hallmark, holiday of Valentine's Day coming up, and maybe it's going to be Galentine's Day for everybody. Instead of looking for love in all the wrong places. Remember that song? Looking for love in all the wrong places. No fly girls. Just Anyway, so instead of looking for love in someone else, make sure you learn and know how to love yourself first. Start by just 5 things that you can do on a daily basis that gives back to you. Maybe it's just deep breathing.
I was just going to say, breathing is everything.
Just slow down your breathing. I actually offer 3-minute meditation. So do a quick 3-minute meditation. Even if you're in the shower, it's the best time to meditate. There's just so many things. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, make sure you make time to do that on a daily basis.
I love it. Thank you for being our little guiding light, Tiff.
Oh, thank you for being here, Mark.
I love it.
Guest host with the mostest. Cheers. Mark, how can people find you?
You can find me at Beneath the Waves on Instagram.
Yes. Go find Mark. And if you guys
or markjamesdunn.com, but that's kind of...
Yes. But if you guys are like, all right, Tiff, we liked this episode. What else? We want more of Mark. What do you guys want us to talk about? We want to know what kind of topics.
Special guests or topics help because we can figure out owning in on what it makes special for you to listen to. Because I know my friends listen, they love it, and they just love hearing our voice, or maybe they're just like, oh, well, can you put this person on? Or so
right.
Or can I call in? So just kind of
it can happen, but we want your opinions, your ideas.
Send them our way. Please.
Matter, and please, if you wouldn't mind, if you could just go write a review on Apple, only if it's nice.
And subscribe.
We are Never Truly Alone, the podcast. We are Never Truly Alone podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow us. Bye, guys. Love you.
Cheers.